Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. Today is a bit of a venting day. So, as many of you know, we keep a pair of Dominican red mountain boas, or Chilobothrus striatus. These guys are awesome. We've had them for years now. We've bred them the last 2 years or even 3. And we've been very frustrated. We have gotten them to breed all winter long, tons of locks. They don't seem incompatible or anything like that. It doesn't get us anywhere. Little Ann, the female here that I've got out right now, she went on a long kind of food binge where she was just extremely hungry all the time. I thought that was a good sign, you know. I was like, oh, she's extra hungry. She's trying to build up, protein and fat stores for her young. But, it's January now, and she seems back to normal, and we're about ready to cool everything down and breed them again, and no babies. We do not have an ultrasound machine, so I can't guarantee she's not pregnant, but I don't know. She doesn't really look pregnant. Oh, she's trying to take off on the climbing wall behind me. But yeah, so I just wanted to take this opportunity to say to all of you out there who maybe you love reptiles and you're like, oh, I'd love it even more if my collection was making me money. Or maybe you are more business-minded and you see these price tags that your friends are showing you on ball python morphs or whatever, or maybe some of the really rare species, and you're like, oh, I could totally do that and make a quick side hustle kind of deal or something. Well, I don't know. Lots of people have different reasons for wanting to breed their animals. What they don't consider often, I'm not accusing everyone of this, but many people don't consider, what if they just don't reproduce? What are you going to do? Luckily, we are 100% in love with these animals, and if they're just pets, then they're just pets, and we will love them and take care of them for their entire life. Happy as a clam to do that. But we also are breeders, and we would love to get some babies of these guys, and we just have not been able to. I have reached out to people who've been breeding them for a decade. I can't figure out what we're doing wrong, or if we're doing something wrong. This is nature. This is not a computer program. It doesn't always do what you tell it to, right? This beautiful creature is a live animal, right? She's trying to climb me here. So yeah, it's I guess a voice of warning. I'm usually on my channel one to kind of give people the good side of this, right? I see so many people hating on breeders or whatever, and I'm like, well, I want to be a voice that kind of tells that, no, it is, oh, I just got peed on all over. That's so fantastic, and these guys' pee is stinky. Thanks, girl. You're welcome. Anyway, usually I'm very positive. I try and, be a voice of not necessarily like blind optimism, but, to combat the negativity that's out there. People are like, oh, you're not in it for the animals, you're just in it for the money, or whatever. We talk about that side of things. Well, let me be a voice of caution for once. There are as many things that can go wrong with breeding animals as there are animals in the world, right? Many of them aren't dangerous, but in her case, she's healthy, she's friendly, she's wonderful, and she is not giving us any babies, right? So that's just one of the myriad things that can go wrong, is they just fail to reproduce. I don't know why. I really don't. She hasn't even slugged out for us or anything, just straight up has not gotten pregnant despite dozens of breedings. Dozens since we've had her. We've done it at the right time of year. We've micromanaged our temperatures, the food regime, everything we can think of to kind of get her in the mood, and hasn't worked. And that's all right. It's sad for us. We wish that we could, and these aren't huge money makers. They're not super expensive or anything, but we just want to be able to breed them. And we've had people waiting on us for years now, hoping to get a baby from us. And we haven't been able to produce for them. So for today's video, I want to caution everyone that live animals are their own an agent unto themselves, right? They do what they want. They go by their own nature, whether that's, built-in instincts or whether that's their own personal preferences. And there's only so many ways that we can influence that. We cannot control that. So if that's something you're uncomfortable with, taking on, living animals that you're responsible for, that are going to cost you a lot of space, time, and money, and then not really being fully in control, then maybe you need to look elsewhere. Because I tell you what, you are not in control when it comes to live animals, right? I mean, I'm handcuffed almost right now. She's in more control of me. And so, yeah, make sure that you really love the animals, because there is no guarantee that you're going to be selling babies and making all this money. Absolutely no guarantee. Obviously, if you have hundreds of animals and you're breeding them all and your husbandry is spot on, of course you're going to produce some animals, right? I'm not trying to say that it's just a shot in the dark and there's nothing you can do about it and it's blind luck. That's not true. Of course, there's things that you can do to greatly increase your chances, but don't get your mindset on like, this animal and this animal are going to breed at this time, and this time. She's going to get pregnant on this day. The babies are coming on this day. I'm going to have these customers coming to me on this day, and they're going to pay me this much money on this day. And then I'm going to ship all of them on this day. If you try and micromanage your plan to that degree, you are just ripe for disappointment. These animals will go whenever they want, and they will do whatever they want. They are instinct driven to a greater degree than we are, maybe. Although, lots of people would argue that humans also are very instinct driven. Regardless, that is my video for today. We are frustrated here at the Reptile Barn. Our sweet little girl here and her erstwhile boyfriend are freeloading, for lack of a better word. And that's okay, because, they're not our slaves. They don't have to do what we want. Well, we will continue to try, of course, as long as they're healthy and everything, right? Someone has asked me, why don't you take them to the vet and see if there's something wrong? Well, I mean, they could do a basic, like, are they healthy kind of thing, but since their weight and their food response is good, they could, listen to their heart. We see no sign of respiratory infection. There's nothing visibly wrong with their vent. They pee and poop normally. They drink and eat on a normal basis. There's only so much even a real experienced exotics vet can tell me about their reproductive. They're not going to be able to do like a sperm count on a snake, you know what I mean? And so fertility, it brings up, I mean, look at people. There's people in agonizing situations where they don't know why they can't have babies, right? I can't imagine that an exotics vet's going to be able to tell me why these two animals have failed so far to produce even a pregnancy, let alone live babies. So, that being said, at the very least, we could maybe rule out some things. A vet might be able to take an x-ray or even an ultrasound and tell me if the internal workings of her reproductive tract show any irregularities, any bumps, any turns where there ought not to be a turn, even like if there's a lining that's really thick or something like that, something that just seems abnormal that you could say, oh, okay, here's an actual like physical reason why something might be off. So we could do something like that, and we probably will. However, our vet that we use exclusively is mostly only taking really high need appointments right now because of the pandemic. He's not having us just come in for curiosity type things, which oftentimes we do since we have so many reptiles. Really, it's more, oh, my animal is sick. My animal needs this medicine or whatever. And so we're not going to lie to him and say, oh, she's sick, just so we can slip in, They're trying to be super, super cautious. And I totally respect that. So, maybe the next several months, as the vaccine is more widely distributed, we'll be able to get in on a more of a curiosity visit, I call it. And, just to see if there's something he could tell us more than we already know. But my guess is that we'll come out of that visit and he'll say, no, she looks fit as a fiddle. She's just not getting pregnant. Maybe there's something genetic that she just can't get pregnant. Maybe we're just having bad luck. And third time's the charm or something. I don't know. But my point is, we don't know. We may never know. That is super frustrating. And if you breed animals enough, it's going to happen to you. And that's okay. You should love your animals enough that you're not going to be like resentful and like, I wish I didn't even have this animal if that happens to you, The joy of keeping them should be enough of a reason for you to still take perfect care of them. Observe them carefully, make sure they're getting everything they need and all of that. They shouldn't be neglected simply because they're not contributing to your business in the way that you wanted. That's not right with a live animal. Anyway, enough rambling. Just wanted to share with you guys a frustration that we're having here, and that's okay. She's still gorgeous, as you can all see, and she's very curious about that camera, wants to climb on it. We're going to be doing a cage upgrade for these guys. Not really like bigger, just a different setup and plastic instead of wood so that it's easier for us to clean. But we'll probably give them more climbing, if you will. And we're also going to change the light as well inside. So yeah, but we'll update you when we get to that. We're pulling long days, like a lot of people are, I'm sure. And so we're trying to document all the cool things that we're doing and share them with you guys. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and put her back, and we will get this edited and get it up for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we're the Reptile Barn.